It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log. But when I
Welcome to week 7 of the BEBC BS Podcast.
BS, I'm sorry I was late.
All right, thank you, Thad.
I'm awake now.
All right, yeah, we've all had time. Not we'll just get right into it. And guys, the question of the day is: did they do their job?
Did they do their job?
Did they?
What was the question?
Did they do their job?
Yes and
No.
no.
Some did. Some didn't.
Some
did.
For those
First half guys did their job.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Channel 4 was allowed in to see Terry Gamble's pregame speech, and that was his direction to the kids, to the boys, was do your job. So we're here today to discuss Allen Cedar Hill and did the boys do their job.
But first,
What?
people say that the kids can't hear the crowd or hear what the crowd said and doesn't make a difference
What, like the crowd doesn't make a difference at all?
in a game. Take a listen to this, what it sounds like from the field level.
Go.
Wow, that's
Awesome.
strong.
There you go, guys. Opening kickoff. That's what the boys heard. So, yeah, Nolan, you're right. When people don't stand up, when people don't cheer, when people sit on their hands, that's what the boys are missing.
You don't hear that perspective from the stands and think, people don't realize that yelling and cheering, these boys can hear it, they feed on it, and it was evident last night in the second half when the crowd got a little quiet.
Yeah, when it's third down or fourth down and teams are going for it, that's time to stand up and ring those bells and cheer and yell and make all sorts of noise. We did it one time against DeSoto at Cowboy Stadium, and it rattled the other team.
Well, and that brings us to the band. And how did our new director do in coordination? Opinions? I think he did a pretty wonderful job at coordinating and getting the noise at the right times, guys.
He might understand football, unlike a predecessor that,
Hey,
didn't know
Well-
when the band was supposed to play.
Well, and I think a lot of the problem in the second half was pretty much all the band parents left and went home.
Nope. Nope. It's out there.
Touche.
We'll let somebody else do the elephant in that room. But no, we all met Dr. Abato yesterday at lunch, and what a great guy he appears to be. And he does. He was on top of it. He has the kids going from the snap, the kickoff, and a couple of us sit right close to the band above it, and he was on them and had them playing all night long. And so, he does seem to understand the effect that those kids have on a game. And
Well, you got to think he came from the college ranks.
yeah, he did. Yeah, and he understands it. So kudos to him. Kudos to the band, because that's probably the most they've ever had to play in one game to start, especially to start a season.
Constantly.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
half of them were worn out at the end of the game.
Welcome to the Escadrille, freshmen, because you guys worked hard. So thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it, and
That's fun.
keep it up. That'll be good for the rest of the season. All right, so back to football. Let's just talk first half to begin with, and I guess we'll start on the offensive side of the ball.
Awesome. First half,
First half was incredible.
ran it down their throat. The offensive line was strong, could basically do no wrong.
I totally agree with you, Nolan. When Allen was running north and south in that first half, man, they were powerful. I mean, they looked like they were world beaters.
And then the second half happened.
Well, we're not there yet. We're still talking first half here.
Are we still talking first?
Yeah, Grant was 6 for 8 in the first half. He had the one ball he threw to Grant Fee that was low. Jack Fee that was low.
Yep.
And then the interception to Carson in the end zone, 2 yard line.
Threw it up, double, triple coverage.
Yeah.
That was tough.
He underthrew him.
Underthrew it
Yeah.
a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
it had too much height on it.
Yeah, he tried to do what he did on the first long completion to Carson and lob it in there. He just really needed to let that one go because Carson had get those guys beat too. So, overall, Grant in the first half was pretty strong. Running game, love Brock Sturgis. That kid just gets it done, and he's slippery and he gets through the hole really quick.
And he's
He
strong.
floats. He just
very
floats
strong.
through there, man.
But when he gets hit, I don't think he went down on a first hit. It took a second and third hit to get him down.
And Thad, you on this because you watch closer than the rest of us. Did we even line up anybody else at running back? I know we ran some other people with plays, but do we even have anybody else other than him in the backfield?
Kalen had a Gamble 25 had a couple
Okay.
where they gave Brock a spell, and it's the same thing when they run that zone read play up the gut, and they kind of trap the nose guard, and the crease is always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got
But
eight
I
yards.
will say you can't wear that play out and expect it to work. So you got to try to stretch the field sometimes.
Well, and your quarterback needs to run too, because there was a lot of times that the linebacker and the ends were just crashing down, and there was nothing but open field for Grant to run. And he ran when he had to last night.
He'll mature into that too. There were some decisions that were just a little bit late, but he's doing good.
Again, we're talking first game of the
First
year,
game.
and first half of the first game of the year, and it's
First start.
It was impressive.
But
thing to
speaking of
watch.
first half, how about that pass out there to Theo where he totally broke the guy's ankles? Oh my gosh.
We need to talk about my boy Theo.
Oh my gosh.
Theo recently got his 5-star, which that's just a bunch of people's opinion. But watching him last night, his moves.
You could see it.
He playing on this might have been in the second half. It might have been late first half. I can't remember second half, and he caught a pass on the sideline.
Yeah.
And he planted his foot so hard, but it was so soft, and it was like two guys just whiffed, and I was
That's
just
what I
like,
mean.
"That's my boy Theo."
Ankles were broken.
Yeah.
They brought wheelchairs out, put him in the wheelchair, and just took him to the hospital.
Yeah.
Balls were snatched out of midair.
Snatched.
Going
That's-
after it.
That's Theo's word. He loves that. He the boy can play, and he looked strong last night too when he had the opportunity. I like him when he gets the ball in his hands. He runs pretty good routes, and he'll get open, but when he gets the ball in his hands, it's fun to watch.
And they tried to do that by moving him inside because that corner was right on him, and then they always rolled the safety over,
Mm-hmm.
and he would communicate with the other safety saying, he's over here on this side, and so they would shift over because they weren't going to give him anything deep.
Yeah. And he had one opportunity deep, and Grant overthrew him
Yeah.
at some point during the game. I
Yeah,
remember
somebody
second
could have
half.
stretched for that, but I'm not going to say it.
First half defense.
Outstanding.
Wow. Year in, year out, defense shows something that was unexpected, and they were the strong. Throughout the entire game, the defense was probably the more balanced, impressive side of the ball throughout the entire game.
I was, again, kudos to Coach Kane. He
Yep.
seems to pull the rabbit. He's like Rod Marinelli, and you always think they're not going to, be as effective as they've been the year before because they lose a lot of people, and you just never know. And by golly, if he just didn't do it again last night, he dialed up a shutout in the first half. And
Now, they got to clean up some misses as far as the tackling goes, but all in all, defense played pretty outstanding.
Mr. Angeloni's name was called several times last night on tackles.
I was impressed by
That was
that.
good.
Quarterback pressure was pretty good. Jernigan and those boys would do that. Hey, and I even looked over at Al at one point and said, by golly, they just dialed up a blitz, which Colton came off the corner, and I was like, whoa. I was like, we don't see that from Allen. And so, and I think that caused the interception of
It did.
Taj no, that's the one that Mo Perkins got.
Perkins got when they
Yeah.
dialed up the blitz. They were right in front of the student section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not since the day of probably Christian Sam and Tay Evans, coming off the corners.
That's true.
Especially that Springfield game in Round Rock.
Spring Westfield.
Yes, Springfield.
Yeah. Springfield, Missouri.
David is combining words here because he's tired today.
Yeah.
We're shortcutting everything.
Late day.
Thad, your thoughts on defense?
Allen's just showed the ability that what they teach is gap discipline, and you've got to beat your man to protect your gap. And we very rarely get caught out of position.
Do your job.
There were a couple of times I thought that we should have did a little bit better tackling, but those things can be worked out. But first of all, you got to be in the right position to even have the ability. So the defense was very under control. I like the way they do gang tackle. There was a couple of times Mr. Fleet kind of caught a pass and made the first guy miss, but the pursuit angles were there and negated a lengthier gain. And that's an all-world wide receiver he's going to get his touches. You can't really stop that, but you can limit his ability for yards after catch, and I think they did a very good job at that. Made him earn everything that he got. So, and the ability to keep the ball in front of him forced, Cedar Hill into a couple of penalty situations because, they weren't able to have the big play and go down and score. And the more times it takes you to get down there, the more apt you are to having those mistakes and put them behind the chains. And then we were able to dial up the blitz. When you get them in a situation where they've got to try something, then you dial it up. And I think Coach Kane is very conservative at the first of the year with that, but he brought it up in the right situation for sure. So,
Well, and he had 2 first-time starter quarterbacks he was up against last night since they did switch quarterbacks in the second half. And, you try to take advantage of that, and I think he did.
Right.
I didn't see any nervousness on their part, but you could tell they weren't as polished as they will be.
right.
Yeah, but guys, that was a good team they played last night. There's no doubt that team's going to win a lot of
Stay
games.
ranked.
They got a whale of a district they're playing in. It looks like Duncanville will be really
Strong,
good, and DeSoto will always bring the wood. So it'll be interesting to see how that district rolls out. But that team's got some ability. They're big. To me, they were really big up front.
Yeah,
Did
their offensive
we
line
hear a
looked really
familiar
big.
name on the Cedar Hill side? Cameron Jones? Didn't he transfer, or was that a different? There was a Cameron Jones that played safety for Trinity last year, and I know he transferred, but I can't remember if he transferred to Cedar Hill or Mansfield. I don't remember.
That name doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, he was number 17 for Trinity last year. Anyway, I heard his name, so I thought he had transferred to Mansfield, but it may have been Cedar Hill. But anyway, they're loaded with a lot of talent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the new coaching staff will probably have them rolling pretty good by district.
I bet so.
And speaking of Colton Manning,
Yes, sir.
okay, so they're down there, on the 5-yard line, Cedar Hill, and they want to score, and they do that zone read. The running back goes right up the middle, and that quarterback takes off. Colton Manning breaks down, wraps his arms around, picks him up, drives him backwards. That was awesome.
It looked
That
like a
was
Jeremy Reeves tackle.
It did, Jeremy Reeves.
And then he caught his eye.
That's too emotional. I'm not even going to get into that. But that was good to see that. That is the ultimate form
tackle.
right
It was
there.
awesome, and that was right in front of us. And
Yep.
we'll go to the second half now, and again the defense played outstanding the whole game to limit that team to 8 points, and as hard as Cedar Hill had to work to get those 8 points, they converted at least one 4th down on that.
Well,
Or they get there's a penalty. in the
They
game.
stopped
Yeah.
them on
Yeah.
4th down.
Yeah.
What was the penalty?
It's pass interference, holding or pass interference. No, it was,
Holding.
number 8.
Yeah.
But it is a questionable call, but it happens. And then they had to go to 3rd down before they scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
So those guys were playing tough down there.
Yeah.
They wanted a
Close game.
shutout. You can
8
see
plays. 8 plays inside the 10.
it. Yeah. So
That's
they had to
pretty good.
earn it. So the defense again, outstanding. Bickham, I think, was named the MVP on the defensive side of the ball. He had a pick in the first half. Rolled over as a safety on a deep ball to Fleeks and picked it off, and he got blasted when he caught it too and held on. And
Yep.
Very impressive.
Mo Perkins, I mean, that name hadn't popped up to us until last night. To me, it's the first I'd heard his name, and by golly, he had a great game.
Yeah.
Again, overall, I think the secondary played really well. I mean, you know, like you say, Fleek's got his yards, which he will do. But other than that, there weren't a whole lot of people running too free, and you know, the tackling was good by the secondary, and they seemed to be on the ball. And so defensively, on the second half, first half, I think we give them a pretty good grade.
Our defense was on the field the whole second half.
Yeah, and that's where we'll turn to now. What happened to the offense in the second half?
I'm sure there's a lot of opinions.
And that's what we're here for, is opinions. And again, that's what we're doing. We're throwing out our opinions on what we saw.
Well, there were more plays east-west as opposed to north-south running up the field, so they were trying to spread it out, getting around the corner. And Cedar Hill was too fast to let us get around the corner.
Yeah,
that was one.
I mean, and you think you'd learn that after one series of downs or maybe two, but that's continued on, you know. And I think maybe what I could tell that there was a couple times in all that where Brock turned and went upfield and was very successful, but they went right back to the east to west instead of going north and south.
When I looked at halftime, I think we had 212 yards total offense, and we finished with 271. So 59 yards in the second half. And again, we were playing a good team, and they probably made adjustments and everything. But I'll go back to what I said last week about what was I looking for this year related to the team, and it was coaching. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and blame the coaches for anything. We won the game. It was good. But to me, when your offense is only getting 59 yards and a half, you know, something needs to be done differently. And I don't know what that would be. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but it was not a pretty sight. And, you know, someone said earlier, defense was on the field almost all the second half. That's where your offense could have helped them.
Yeah.
You know, luckily depth played a part in all this. And we've got rolling a lot of defensive players in and out.
Especially on the defensive line.
Yeah.
And it must have been at least 11 different guys got to play on the defensive line.
Yep.
And that's important.
Yes, exactly. One, you get the next guy ready in case, heaven forbid, something happens. But two, it also gives them the confidence to know that, hey, I can play this game when called on. And three, it's demoralizing to the man across from you when he sees on 4 different plays, sees 3 different men line up in front of him.
Yep.
And I don't care how good you are, fresh legs can definitely make a difference and beat you. So, and it holds those linemen up so the linebackers can get to their spot, and they're the unsung heroes on defense for sure. They may not make the tackle, but they cause
havoc.
And cause the other team not to be able to do what they're designed to do. So,
yeah. And it's early in the season. I mean, they've had one scrimmage, they've had one game. So during the first game, you could see that Kane was putting on, and especially a linebacker, putting in all these different people to see what would work. And sometimes it worked really well, and other times it didn't. And so he's just moving things around, trying to find out what's going on out there.
And you guys were talking about him before. Thomas, Marcus Thomas, number 15. Very impressive. Jace Waters did a great job. Angeloni, good job running the show out there.
He was everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, he was.
Yeah, he definitely has some big shoes to fill, not only in ability, but calling the keys and getting everybody lined up, making the audible call on a lineup, getting everybody in the position. You know, they had the same guy doing that for the past 3 years. And, I think he did very good at stepping up and filling those parts of Misi's shoes also.
Yeah. It was pretty on the defensive side of the ball last night. So we'll take that. And as fans, we're happy with it. We're happy with the victory. And, good for the boys for, putting on a show for everybody last night.
Hey, how about that punter?
Oh,
Yeah,
the kicking
no
game
doubt.
was
I
special.
tell you,
Yeah.
That was
that
special.
kid is special, and I think he did a great job. And all the pressure he had on him.
I think the
Coming
more
at him?
pressure he has, the better
He
punches.
is. I mean, my gosh. I mean, the one he got off, I was for sure it was blocked, and
And the
great
one,
was a
job.
boomer.
and the one return that they got that was pretty good is because he punted it so far. He
Yeah,
punted the
punted
coverage.
coverage. Yeah,
And,
Yeah,
you know, it had height on it and everything, but he just, I don't know, it must have been a 55-yard punt at least.
I leaned over to Cody after when he bobbled the one and then picked up and kicked it. I said, we always talk about coaches never coach. He got coached up more on the
Yeah,
sideline
yes,
after
he
that
did.
than I've ever seen a punter
Yeah,
get coached in
yes,
my
he
life.
did.
And I was like, oh my goodness.
And that brings up a point that, people always say, well, you won, but you also want to pick on those points that if you had lost, you want to pick on those same points even if you win.
Yep.
That you got to just try to hone that and make it better.
Make it tighter. Yep.
Yes, no matter the situation. If it's a coachable point, Terry's not going to pass that up. That's for sure. He's
Okay.
going to.
And he did. He
He
coached him
Help
up
them do
well.
their job better.
Yeah. Do your job.
Yeah.
So he was on him about
Yeah.
that.
And just to remind people, we got 3 non-district games.
Yep.
Coaching staff is doing a lot of looking, doing a lot of testing of different people because district is the next most important thing.
Yeah, and next week won't be. Evangel's a great team out of Louisiana. They won their. They lost us last year, but they went on and won state, and they'll bring some talent. They always have it.
David, didn't you say that they're returning a lot of their? They have a lot of returning.
yeah. They
also.
didn't lose a lot, but a lot of them are coming back. And isn't it funny how what we've had: Hoover, Dutch Fork, Evangel. The people that come here the second week, and play us and lose, then they go back and win their state championships.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
Something to say, huh?
Yeah, it really is.
It's a good
And
test for them.
Evangel is a David and Goliath team, too. I mean, they've got 350 total students. They've got 2 permanent full-time head coaches or coaches, 7 coaches altogether. They got a lot of talent. Private school for sure, but they get some talent.
They're willing to step up here and play the big boys.
Exactly.
Kudos to them.
Kudos to them for coming
Yeah.
2 years in
way
a row,
2 years
man.
in a row. That's
we,
great.
We definitely we show them a lot of love. We're very welcoming.
Sure.
The impressive sight watching the run in and then the national anthem. I mean, there's a lot of respect that those boys are showing on the sidelines. During the moment of silence, they're praying out there.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing to watch.
And
And
if the visiting school gets 50% of the gate, that's what, $28 million instead of their $1,500. that
Last
they
night
have?
it
That
was.
may be what Gamble said by lock down the gate.
That's what it is.
that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Lock down the
Yeah.
gate.
Well,
Lock
now
down
we
that
know. Now we know.
Great standing room only crowd last
Oh,
night.
What
That
do you
was
think,
very
Noah?
Impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, crowd was awesome, and I love that about because even before the game, you could see the standing room start to happen, and that's just people say a lot of bad about Allen, but that is one of the things as an Allen fan and somebody who's been in the city since. Well, James, you've been here longer than any of us, I think, but just to watch that, no,
He still has his horse and buggy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still a horse and buggy. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We had a visit from an out-of-towner, a fella from Ontario, Canada,
Hey.
Harold Remark, and he brought one of his coaching friends who's a retired coach from up there, and we got them some tickets. They absolutely had a blast, as they have had in previous years. The coach
Hey.
was he couldn't say enough, about how wonderful the experience was, and not just the football.
I wonder
Everything.
when we do the chant, does he go, eh?
Hey, up. Hey,
up.
up.
He might.
It's a,
Or a yup.
All right, I'm tired, but
Yup.
that took me a couple of seconds to figure out what
Why does that not surprise me?
I'm tired,
even on
man.
a good day,
sir.
we
You're a
think that
special
about you,
friend.
Nolan.
Yeah. No, that was great. Harold had been here before, and he'd hung out with us, and he came back and he found us again. I thought that was
He
pretty
did.
cool for him.
He
to do
did, and that shows dedication worldwide.
Yeah.
What did he say? He turned a corner and turned up into the stadium, and his friend's jaw just went to the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it goes back to what we did earlier about, what you hear down on the field from the stand. It's like a college atmosphere, and it's really cool.
Would you like me to play that again?
No, not right now.
Okay.
But and kudos to the commish too for we had
Jackie.
Channel 4 visited our
Way to go,
tailgate
Jackie.
yesterday, and none of us wanted to speak, but we had the commish stand up, and we posted that video. She's out there doing great things for Allen, so good for the commish, and appreciate her doing that, so we didn't have to.
I bet the viewers enjoyed that better than one of our ugly mugs
Oh,
slammed
yeah.
in front of the
Oh,
camera.
yeah.
That ain't no lie,
That's right.
for sure.
There was definitely some interesting camera angles that were partaken in that story.
Yeah, she probably doesn't know about all those either.
No, she doesn't.
Especially zooming in on the best of the nest.
That's right. That's what's on the pocket, isn't it?
Let's keep it PG-13, people.
That's it. All right.
So anyhow-
Evangel Christian, what do
I-
you guys expect for that game
You
other
know-
than trying out new players, new plays?
Yeah, we got our pick'ems there in a little bit, but I don't foresee anything much different than we saw tonight.
No.
Other than they may change the rotation some.
Yeah. Now, if memory serves me, they run a lot of 2 tight ends, line it up, run it right at you. So it'll be a different, version of
Look for the
football that we
defense,
see this Friday. So that'll be good for the guys that we like. Maybe see that later on in the year. So we'll have seen that style a little bit, especially with the 2 tight ends. That changes your whole, scheme.
We
So-
may or may not see that if Trinity doesn't straighten up.
well, if we don't hold well against it, then
That's true.
people may start to use it.
That's
so
true.
You never know.
But finishing up on the first looks from this season, one of our Achilles' heels, pass defense, it's tightened up. It's gotten a lot better. I think this year is going to be a lot different against really top-notch passing teams. We're going to be able to hold our own and lock the gates on them.
Yeah. Well, next Friday night, 7:30 rather than 7:45. We'll do it all over again with Evangel Christian.
Man, that's an early game.
That is early.
But we
Man.
got seven home games this season.
I think we should be there at 7 in the again.
Yeah,
No.
that'd be great.
No.
No.
Okay.
One time a year at 7 in the morning is fine.
I'm good
Busy
with-
day.
I'm
for
good
us
with that.
yesterday.
It was a good day.
Yeah,
It
guys.
was a good day.
And we'll just take a minute and say thank you to all the teachers who showed up yesterday and the admins and everybody
Salute.
showed up at Blue and
It was a pleasure feeding you.
partook
Yeah.
of the food.
Gigantic shout out to Mr. Brandon Weber,
Oh my gosh!
Brandon, he's our hero.
who is the pit master of Collin County. And I don't think the man has had 3 hours sleep since Wednesday.
Yeah, he was actually up all night the night before.
Yeah, he was.
And I don't know how he was able to cook. Nonetheless, answered 9 million people's questions because everybody was like, "Hey, Brandon, what about this? Hey, Brandon, what?" And he was able to not choke me to death. And I commend him on that one.
Yeah.
He's the man.
He did great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Brandon.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate your help. And again, that was fun doing that. And
Hope he was able to get down to Austin today. Find
yeah,
some gasoline somewhere.
yeah, he was headed down there because he's got tailgate and they got an early game today too. So he's probably already hard at it right now. So
Don't get me started on the supposed gas shortage.
Hey, that's related to politics. We're staying away from
we
that.
just stay away from politics. So anyhow, stay hard, Brandon. We'll see you. Thanks again, buddy. So
Well, there is something that I'd like to say.
Gotta get it off your chest.
let's go, Allo. What's on your heart today this week? We're
Last
already
week
laughing.
was a very emotional week, so I don't feel that I should say anything this week. I have to wait.
Okay. Thank you for that interlude there,
That's all I
Alan.
got.
Well, folks, that means you have to stay tuned to next week.
Yeah, he'll come back with something next
Well,
week.
I forgive you.
Well, I appreciate that. But it's weird with all of the opinions floating around that stadium. You could see them just rising in the air.
Yep.
There had to be a rumor or two going on.
Yeah, but
Anybody hear of any rumors?
Maybe. Bad?
Well, rumor has it this week that this kind of started trickling out last year, and I think it's come to its full blossoming. It's rumored that Coach Gamble has become quite irritated with band parents exiting right after the performance. And it has been rumored to say that if this pattern continues, he is going to move the band performance to after the game and become a post game.
Wow, that sounds like a great idea.
And, I could go into more details about the rumor, but I don't want to offend anybody. Well, no, I do.
Offend away, please.
Yes, can parents, if you would like to leave. I've heard the acoustics are quite great down in the Horseshoe, and it'd be nice for those people that would like to stay the full game to be able to get a good seat around me and be willing to participate in yelling for the football game that is going on. And, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Woo! All right.
Pick 'em.
We
Pick
don't
'em.
want to gossip, though.
No, we're not gossiping. We're just speaking. Our picks from last week are not obviously complete yet because of college football's today.
Yeah.
Yay. Go Noles.
Whatever.
But
Good luck.
Yeah.
But two of y'all are already out of running who picked like Travis.
Yeah, so we, interesting scores from around the state last
Yeah,
night.
you think 45 points would be enough to win a game.
You would think.
But we all got slammed by the surprising Plano victory.
Man,
or shall we say,
they're
the
awesome.
Hebron lost.
Those Plano Wildcats, man, they're my team.
I'm telling you what, they're going to give us a run for the money
All
for
the
district.
way.
Oh man, that's going to be tough.
You hear that, honey? Yeah, it sounds to me like David's trying to settle some conflict at home with that statement.
That
Wants to
couch
get
is
off
getting
the
a little
couch.
tough on that back.
That's right. Being out in the desert's kind of tough. You want a little water. Huh?
Yeah, so we'll give you updated pick'em stats next week, and all we're going to do this week is next week's high school games, and we'll pick our college games next Saturday morning. So we'll have everything updated then. Start out, and we'll just pretty much do district games this week for the most part. Plano, surprising victory over Hebron this week. We'll play Irving MacArthur.
IMAC.
Whoa, fat.
No. That's what they call it.
Oh, IMAC. Excuse me. I thought you were
No,
picking them.
put it down.
Yeah, he said IMAC. All right,
You always got
David.
to go
Oh,
with
man.
your first
Hey.
idea.
Plano, man. I told you
Plano.
they're my team now.
Thad, Plano, Allen,
I'll go Plano.
James.
IMAC.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Going different. No.
Somebody's
I got to do Plano.
I will do Plano
All right,
as well.
Commish, you hear that?
Game 2, Plano East is playing Jesuit, who almost upset
Almost
DeSoto.
going Jesuit.
The Allen's going Jesuit.
James is going Jesuit
All
too.
right.
I'm picking the Friars to win.
The religiosity is just overwhelming.
I got to go Plano East. I just don't see them
All right, man.
doing that.
David's
boy.
really trying to get
Oh,
off
boy.
the couch. He's going Plano no matter what. Should we pick a Plano West game too?
If there was another McCullough coach,
Hopefully they
he'd
have
pick
a bye.
Yeah. Thad.
Jesuit.
All right, Nolan.
Jesuit.
Yeah, I'm going Jesuit too. They put up 562 yards on DeSoto last night, so there's something there.
Go DeSoto defense. Yeah.
Speaking of DeSoto was taking on Denton Geyer.
What did Geyer do last night?
Geyer beat Lake Ridge on Thursday night. They beat him 37-21, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Hoto.
Frodo.
What?
What? Who?
Frodo's playing?
What is
DeSoto.
DeSoto. Okay.
Master.
Thaddeus?
I'll go DeSoto.
All right.
Got to stay with the Eagles.
All right.
I'm going Denton Geyer.
James is sticking his neck out there.
Yeah.
DeSoto.
Yeah, and I will go DeSoto as well, just because I figure whatever's going on there that will
Get it
hammer
hammered
it.
out.
They got too many athletes for Geyer, in my opinion. Okay, here's an interesting one. I picked it because there's two reasons. One team's in our district, and one team we saw at 7-on-7. So McKinney, who had a 254-yard effort by their running back, Matt
Very impressive.
got it, however they say it, last night in a victory. They take on the Keller Indians, who we saw at 7-on-7 in
Is it at
Arkansas.
Keller?
I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Keller got beat last night by Abilene Cooper, by the way, 48-35.
Did they really? So,
I'm going
Like
McKinney.
Nolan, that kind of
I'll go McKinney.
all right.
helps you out. I'm going Keller.
All right.
I'll say McKinney.
All right.
Sticking with McClellan County.
I'm going to take the Lions also, McKinney Lions.
No.
I'm going Keller.
Rushing versus passing. I will go McKinney just to stay in there. All right, our game. Alan Evangel. Anybody picking Evangel? I'm going to go around the table.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
We got to do a score, right?
Yeah, we do have to do a score.
All right. I'll say my score last.
Okay.
So everybody can't say, I'll go back.
I will go first. I'm going to say it's 48 to... I don't know, that defense was strong last night. I'm going to say 10.
Is this score after the first half or the game?
End of the game. When the clock strikes 0 and
Which was the same, right?
10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to stick my neck out and say 42, Allen 42, and Evangel 14.
All right.
God, that's what I was going to say.
Well, you can say it.
I'll go 42-17.
All right.
Staying consistent.
Yes, you do. David, Nolan, Thad.
35-7.
Here we go. All right, guys. You're dead air here. You're killing me, man.
28-14.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. Interesting.
Hey, show me something different, and I'll start going higher.
I'm good with that.
49-14.
See, I don't see it yet.
You don't see it 40s. Well, it'll be interesting because I understand your point there, Noah. It's a good observation.
I think they'll rebound. I think the offense will rebound from last week.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Yeah. Hopefully Theo gets a couple touchdowns, a few more receptions.
Well, that's all we have for this week. First week of college football starts today. A couple big games. Texas starts at 11. FSU, Alabama tonight. Did Arkansas win, by the way?
Yes, they
Okay.
did. Woo pig!
Sweet.
What, did they beat Northern Tennessee School for Girls?
It doesn't matter who they beat.
Win's a win.
Really?
Win's a
When's the
win.
last time your team had a winning season?
Get your guns up, Raiders.
Oh, who do they play today?
Oh, who knows?
There's a dedicated alumni for you there, brother.
Mid-Texas School for the Blind.
It might be. All right, folks.
They play girls called Braille Ball.
Till next week, it's over and we're out.
Get your motor running.